Hello everyone, welcome to the installation tutorial for Realm of Thrones 8.1 for Bannerlord 1.4.8. This is the new update for Realm of Thrones. Casterly Rock, Greywater Watch, elephants, mammoths, new light gear, new elephant saddles, renames naval troop lore. A bunch of changes. Let's take a look here, guys. A bunch of changes and fixes, especially for 8.1. So what we're going to do is we have a mod DB and we have a Nexus mods download. I recommend mod DB for the faster download. So for this mod, it's asking you to get Butterlib, Harmony, mod configuration menu, and UI extender. This is a large file, 12.7 gigabytes, so it will take a bit to download on Nexus mods or a few minutes on ModDB, depending on your internet connection. While those are downloading, you want to go to your Bannerlord, Properties. I do recommend deleting all previous mods, especially Realm of Thrones if you had it installed. Clean files, clean install, deleted your shader cache and all that type of stuff. I go to game versions because this is live as of August 16th. The default public version is 1.4.8. But in the future, you come to this screen there and you'll be able to choose your version matching what the mod version you want to play on. So, for example, 8.1, you choose 1.4.8. 8.0, you choose a different game version. Once that's downloaded, right, you want to go to installed files. Verify integrity of game files. This will ensure that the game itself is clean, fresh, and shouldn't have any issues, at least regarding files. So now with stuff downloaded, you're going to have these sets of files here. Everything I'm going to do for the ROT file here, you do for these files here, Butterlib, mod configuration menu, Harmony, and UI extender. So what you want to do is right click on this, show more options, properties. You want to click unblock, apply, and then OK. If you don't click unblock, you're going to get an error saying dill file doesn't load, can't load, blocked, all that type of stuff, or crashes. This will fix that issue. Next, because I'm using 7-zip, you can also use WinRAR or Windows extraction. I go properties, more options, I go 7-zip, I'm going to extract to ROT.1. Obviously, depending on your system, this could take a few seconds, a few minutes. While that's extracting, you want to do the rest for all these other files here, and you're going to end up looking like everything I have already extracted. Next, you want to go back to your Steam, Properties, Installed Files, click Browse. You want to open up your Modules folder. So let's start off with UI Extender, then Harmony, Mod Configuration, Butterlib, while ROT is extracting. So open up the thing, you're going to see a Modules folder. Open that up. You're going to drag UI Extender. Rinse and repeat for all mods. Worst case too, you can just put them all in one folder and just drag it all in one go rather than doing it individually. So now with ROT 8.1's file basically being done, or I'm hoping so, it says 0 seconds. It's probably just doing this last few checks. We'll be right back when it's done that. Okay, it is now finished. Once again, open up. Right, you're going to see content, core, drag it, and map. Right, you're now going to drag these folders into the modules folder. Once again, depending on how your PC is, it could take seconds, could take minutes. So we're going to go sit here and hopefully it installs without any issues. And while we wait, for those who want to support the Realm of Thrones project, you can visit his Discord, which should be linked down below on the download pages. He also has a Patreon available, especially if you want early access to updates. Like, for example, 8.2 might be early access soon, let's say. Right? A few dollars a month will help a long ways with commissioning a bunch of work. Okay, so we're going to go cut when this is done. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Now that we have it all installed, let's load the game. For those who are actually using the 8.0 version, that uses the BLSC requirement. For this version, it has been removed. So for those who have it installed, just use your standard play button. For those who are installing on Epic or other platforms, say Xbox Game Pass and such, as long as you have access to your module folder, you should be able to install the mods. Only issue being, I don't know if those platforms have the opportunity for you to lock a version in like Steam does. So you have to play the most or prevent it from updating. So once again, right, we have our Harmony, UI, Butterlib mod configuration menu. You do need Warsails. It is a Warsails mod required. ROT content, map, and dragon. Right? As you can see, we have the mod versions. And once again, if the mod, say for example, Harmony does update, you might have to download a backdated mod or mod version to install with your game to make sure it does work. Very minor changes can break the game. Now let's click play. And for those who are under caution, just click continue. And with those who are launching this for the first time or haven't prepared the shaders, please do give it, depending on your PC specs. Your shaders can take a few minutes, a few seconds, multiple minutes, depending on your system hardware. A good way to figuring out if your game has crashed is if you go to your Bannerlord launcher, you're going to notice that your game is out. If you're pulling disk, your game's not crashed. If your CPU usage is above a few percent, you also know your game hasn't crashed. If your CPU instantly drops to say 2%, it most likely has crashed. Just because the horse here in the corner stopped moving doesn't mean it crashes. That's a good indicator whether or not that your game is taking a long time for it to load. So in this situation, we're just going to let it load for a few minutes, and hopefully there's no issues. %72 CPU usage, so it is loading shaders, loading the game. So we're going to sit here for a bit longer, and we'll be right back. Now with the game loaded, as you can see, Realm of Thrones. Into the realm. What I do recommend as well, for people who are just looking to get into the game as fast as possible, do not rush character creation. If you go too fast, depending on how the game is, not the mod, how the game is put together, it can cause crashing when you're trying to load a bunch of different assets, shaders, and a bunch of other stuff. Once again, take your time going through your character creation and let things load. It is heavily recommended you have this on an SSD rather than a hard drive. It will take significantly longer if you do have it on a hard drive. And what you're seeing here is actually my first attempt of installing this mod at this version. I just downloaded the mods that are required and install it live just with you guys. Once again, taking my time. And if you are playing Realm of Thrones with other mods, install mods one by one and load the game to ensure that it does work. So if you install 3 mods and it crashes, you need to figure out what other mods caused the crash. You can also install Better Exception window, which will tell you kind of what caused the crash or at what point did the load it crashed. So as you can see, we are now in game. So if you have any other issues, you can visit my community Discord down below. Stop by, say hi, and if you have any issues, some of us will, hopefully we can help solve any of the issues you're running into. Other than that, you can join the Realm of Thrones official Discord. Hopefully they'll be able to help you there as well. Other than that, stay tuned and enjoy and have some fun.